My opening sequence title, Metropolitan, refers to a big city with lots of population, such as London, where my opening sequence has been shot. This can also be seen in such films as London Boulevard, with London representing the location for the majority of the film. The location for my opening sequence is supposed to be set in a residential side of London, a quite rough area riddled with crime. This is shown with my storyline being based around crime. In the film St George's Day, we see the setting for the crimes to be London City. The second location with my opening sequence is in a dark warehouse where most of the action occurs, including the gun to his head and strapping the bomb vest to his chest. However, this location is not typically found in conventional opening sequences, but is typically found later on when the action develops more. I chose this setting as it challenges conventions, enabling my media project to stand out from the rest. The costumes I included were dependent on the position of the character within the film. For instance, I used a smart suit to show the primary villain to possess power, and also shows what sort of enemy he is, not getting his hands dirty. An example of a conventional film which incorporates this is St George's Day, where the lead characters are in suits to portray their power. I use a variety of shots to make up my opening sequence. I used most shots to keep the sequence flowing and not just the same shots one after another. I also used some shots to show the full extent of the scene, such as a GoPro shot after the main title. I also edited in continuity techniques such as the match on action scene, which can be seen when the closing of the van door happens. When using match on action, it keeps the action flowing. My title Metropolitan is in a Bebas Neue font, which allows it to stand out due to its boldness and also its black font, which shows the seriousness of the film. This font is also shown in the opening sequence of London Boulevard, with the white sans serif font on a black background. I chose the grey background to limit the emotion given from the title, just like the one found in London Boulevard title. My opening sequence storyline does not build up slowly, but goes straight into the action to ensure that the audience is linked and engaging the film. The opening sequence does give a hint to what the full primary storyline is. However, I have implemented several enigma codes, such as who is the child, and what is he going to do. This makes the audience want to watch on. You can see this in the opening sequence of London Boulevard, where you question why the man is in prison at the first place. The genre of my opening sequence is a crime/action. It is established around 1/3 of the way into the opening sequence, when the primary character is then taken hostage, with the violent actions of throwing into the van. However, this is only the action essence. The criminal phase comes in after the main title. You can see this link between opening sequence and genre in the film Sherlock Holmes. It has a deep bass, typically found in criminal films such as Sherlock Holmes, with the violin creating the bass. The music also changes depending on the action. For example, when the bomb vest is applied, the sound changes to make the event even more important and dramatic. This can also be found in St George's Day, where the title occurs, the music raises and the bass deepens. The majority of my characters are introduced through the main events, such as the primary villain is introduced before the main protagonist Jack is taken captive by him and his henchmen. Whereas Jack is introduced from the beginning as we follow him as the events unfold. This also occurs in such films as Sherlock Holmes, where we follow Sherlock from the start and the villain is introduced later on.